I have been looking at vertical videos on Pexels actually, which I am finding is an absolutely excellent resource for these things, for videos, and especially vertical videos. So how would we actually use them in a horizontal format? The website is a horizontal format, the videos are vertical, so how would we do that? And I have figured out a way of doing it, and I want to show you how to do that now. So the first thing that we obviously do is we download a vertical video, and I just did that. Let me just go back to my history and show you what I got. I got this one right here. So the original of this is 1080 by 1920, and it's a vertical format, as you can see. So what I did is, here it is right here. Actually this is the one because I trimmed a little bit of it, and I'm going to open this now in OpenShot, which is the one that I have been recommending for all this video editing stuff, because it's actually quite easy to use. And in case you haven't watched any of the previous tutorials about that, you can get it if you just type into Google OpenShot. The very first thing that comes up is the link for Filmora, which is the company that puts it out. It's a free download. You can get it both for Windows and for the Mac, so you can switch to the Mac version right here. So here it is. Now the very first thing, and normally this opens in a horizontal format, and also it actually opens when you first load it. It will open in a simple view and you won't get the advanced window, which you may need for this. Hold on, I just went to the wrong place. So what you would need is the advanced view, which also gives you the property window. And the first thing you need to do is you need to change your format. So in default it'll be 1280 by 720. We don't want that. We want a vertical format, which is 1080 by 1920. And so we have one here which is 30 frames per second. We don't seem to have one. Let's see, we have one for 25, but I'm just going to stick to the 30. So now we have the proper format. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this into the project window, which is right here, and then I'm just going to drag it onto the the track. Very easy to do. You don't really need to do anything. However, I would like this to loop, so I'm just going to take a copy of it. I just press Ctrl C, and then I press Ctrl V to make a duplicate of this little clip, and then I'm just going to right click on it, go to time, normal, backward, and once, so that it will actually create a loop, hopefully. And then all we need to do is export it, if this is all that we're going to do. And I'm going to show some other things that can be done with vertical videos in just a little while. So let's just call this Woman Newspaper. So not all formats but web, but then what we need is a vertical format, and we won't get that with YouTube or Flickr or any of these, but we will get it with Instagram. And then what you need to do is you need to go here and do the vertical 1080 by 1920. You need to choose that, otherwise it'll completely stretch your video, so be careful about that. So you use Instagram, and then for the video profile you choose HD vertical 1080p 30 frames per second, and then you basically just export the video, which only takes a second. So let's just wait until it does that. Done. Now it will put this into your documents folder, so it's right here. It's a very small file size, as you can see. It's only 17 megabytes. So let's just check that this is actually correct. It looks fine, but I just want to look at it to the very end to see if the loop is working correctly, which we're over the halfway point, so it seems to be working correctly. Okay, so then all you need to do is you need to take this out of here and upload it to Wix. So you just go to your media files, show more videos, and I actually already have this nice woman reading a newspaper, but I'm going to upload it again because the last time that I uploaded it there was actually a small glitch. So while we are waiting for that upload, let's go and actually look at what I did here. So I'm going to delete this because I already have it saved. This wasn't sticking to the strip, but what I basically did is I added a strip, any old strip, which it sent immediately to the bottom, so I need to move that up. Here it is, up, up, up. I have no idea why Wix is always putting these on the top, but that's what it's doing. So now it's on the top. I just need to delete the space, exit mode, and I'm just going to stretch this out now so that we have enough room for the with videos, and then I'm going to click here and add a column, and then click on strip again so that all this is grayed out. Hold on, manage columns, add a column. Unfortunately, every time I want to do that I need to well, yeah, I can duplicate it from here. I want to have 5. Let's see, why can't I have 5? I'm sure I can have 5. Add column, so now I have 5. I needed to close this and open it back up again in order to be able to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the videos into this background here. So unfortunately it's always going to make me go to the site files, but just bear with me. So the second one that I had was this one right here. The third one I actually only changed the color because I wanted to add my logo to that. Now we have the fourth one, again video, site files, videos. What a drag that it doesn't take me to where I want to go. I had this lady here getting a facial treatment, and then the last one that I had was a home decoration thing. So it was let's see, it was this one right here. Okay, so I have basically recreated the thing that I just showed you. Now all I need to do is add the logo, which I'm going to add as an image, and it's not going to stick to the let's see, let's take this one right here. Now what I'm going to do with this, I can't attach this to the strip because the strip is now made out of all of these columns. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to float it on top, and I'm going to move it just a little bit outside of this gray area, because here I have all of this stuff, and so when I take a preview it will actually fit into the correct area. I want this white to actually exactly align with this beige here, but for that, while I'm working, I need to move it over just a little bit. So let's preview it now, and here. So as you can see now, this is actually perfectly aligned, and the reason for that is that this logo here is actually floating on top of this 5-column strip, because there's no way that I can embed it into the strip at this size because it's going across 2 columns, as you can see. So but let me actually come here and show you something else. Now this is the earlier version where the logo is a little bit smaller. That doesn't really make a difference. Now when I make this smaller, so let's start like this. I can see the 5 videos, but as you can see, the logo has really slipped. The logo will slip as the as the browser size gets smaller. The videos will be visible until you reach 1024. I still haven't reached it, but I'm going to be reaching it any minute now. They are getting narrower, as you can see. However, they are still visible. But then at a certain point, the one on the far right, the newspaper lady, is actually going to get eaten up. So this is about the smallest size where all of these videos are still going to be visible. And then as you move out, then they are going to get wider. And the logo, as I said, is going to be sliding. It's going to be floating on top of the columns, which is not ideal. I would like it to be in a fixed position, but there's no way that I can really do that. What is important for me is that people see my website with a full resolution, with 1920 width, and there it is going to be correct, and that is really all that I am concerned about, but that's just me. Now, before we end this tutorial, I'm just going to show you before we get there, let me also say something about the design and the visuals here. It's important that you have videos that don't have a lot of motion, because you're showing four of them at the same time. Now, if there are four videos here in which there's a lot happening and the camera is bouncing around and there are people running around and so on and so forth, then this is going to become confusing. So when I selected these videos, I made a point of selecting things that were actually very soft in terms of motion. So this woman is getting her facial in a nice soft way. Here the camera is moving slowly. Here there's very little going on outside of her turning the newspaper pages, and you just saw a little black thing there, and that is why I actually trimmed that video, because I wanted to get rid of that little black interference. The cat and the rabbit are cuddling around, but again, there's not that much motion. So that's important, that when you put a collage of videos together like this that are all going to be seen at the same time, you don't have a lot of motion, or that the motion is kind of equal in all of them. And then another thing is, here I deliberately selected things that have the same color tone. It's kind of like a beige overall, but that is not necessarily the only way that you could do it. I can very easily also see a collage of a number of videos that have different colors that create contrast with each other, and that might actually also work quite well. But in this particular case, I actually went for a harmonious color palette. And before I end this tutorial, I'm just going to go back to OpenShot and also show you one other thing about vertical videos, how you might be able to get a horizontal video out of them that you can put all across your website from edge to edge. So I'll just show you that, and then that'll be the end of it. So we're back at Pexels. Now, what if you find a video like this one here that you would like this to be a horizontal. You don't want all of this stuff up here, you'd just like to see this part here, and you'd like it to be a horizontal. You can do that. You can trim it, or crop it rather, and I will show you how to do that now. Now I'm going to click here. What you need to pay attention to when you are looking for these kinds of videos, or when you find a video like this that you would like to actually put into a horizontal format, you need to make sure that you get a size that is more than 1920 across, because you need at least 1920 pixels from here to here for this to be nice and clean and crisp and sharp and all of these good things that you want. So this one here is perfect, because it's actually the biggest size. It's a 4K UHD, is 2160 by something something. So it's more than 1920. That's all we're interested in, and it is. So I have already downloaded this, so I'm not going to do it now, but basically you would just select this and then download it. So a lot of the vertical videos that you find will unfortunately not be bigger than 1080 across. So I'm just trying to find another one. So if for example we look at this, let's see. Oh, this already has it. This also has it, so this is fine. But some of them, or actually most of them, we were just lucky that we got 2 in a row, will be only 1080 across and not 1920 plus. So you will not be able to use those, so you should be aware of that. Now I already have it here. The thing that I downloaded is right here. So let me go back to OpenShot. Let me delete these things, and let me delete this as well. Okay, I can only do this like that. Now I'm just going to go back and change this to a horizontal format. So I want to make something that is 1920 by 1080, not too much. I mean, that's not going to make much difference, because when we export it, that has its own frame value. So now this is 1920 by 1080. Okay, so now let's grab this real quick and put it on the track. Now here's something that you need to be ultra careful of when you are doing this, what I'm going to show you now. You shouldn't move this time slider. It should always be at 0, because every time you move it, it'll add a keyframe, and you don't want that. You want just one basic change, and that should be all the way at the start of the video. So make sure that this is all the way on the left, and then don't move it. Now what you need is, you need to have this come all the way across. Now this is 1920, and we know that this video is actually much bigger than that, so we need to scale it. So on the left here, on this property tab that we can only access when we go to the advanced view here. By default it'll be simple view. You just need to make sure that you have the advanced view so that you have this. So this is at best fit, don't worry about that. Just double click on this and type in 3.5, and it'll look like this. Don't worry about it, it'll be fine. And then scale Y, also 3.5. So scale X 3.5, scale Y 3.5, and then you want to change the location, because you want to have the plate and not the string of spaghetti. So you need to change the location Y, the Y axis, which is this one right here. So I'm just going to move this down, 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 all the way to -1, and then basically we have it in the position there that we want it to be. Now again, I would like to have a loop, so I'm just going to do the same thing that I did before. Control C, Control V, and then just move this across, double click, time, normal, backward, ×1, and now this should actually be a loop that only shows the bottom part of the video. So now we can go to web, and this time we can go to YouTube HD, and then it'll be this configuration here, and I'm just going to call this noodles and export video. And again, it's not going to take very long at all, so let's just wait for a second. So while we're waiting, just to repeat: scale best fit, scale X 3.5, scale Y 3.5. You have this time scrubber all the way at the start, and you haven't moved it at all, right? And then you make the location Y -1, so that it goes all the way down. Sometimes, of course, you don't make it -1, you put it just to where you want the video to be. Okay, now let's see what happened. Here are our noodles. It's 32.5 megs, which is not very large either. So here we are. I have made a horizontal video out of a vertical video. Again, to repeat, in order to be able to do that, you need to make sure that the vertical video is bigger than 1920 across. That is really, really, really important. You need to make sure that you have that, otherwise it won't work. You won't get like a nice, sharp, clean video like this. It'll be all pixelated, and it will have artifacts, and those are things that you absolutely don't want. So make sure to remember that. But other than that, this is something that you can do very easily, and that's the end of this tutorial. See you later.